Welcome back to The Basement, top level content from the lower level. I'm one of your hosts, Andrew.
And I'm Drew. Today we're going to be diving deep into one of the most disturbing cases in crime history.
Yeah, this guy's name still makes people shudder. He wasn't a prolific killer in terms of how many people he killed, but the story around this guy still makes people shudder. It is complete nightmare fuel.
We're talking about Ed Gein, the butcher of Plainfield, the man whose crimes inspired Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs, horror movies.
It wasn't only Psycho, the movie, it was the novel as well. It was also Deranged, In the Light of the Moon, then Ed Gein, the butcher of Plainfield, House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, Leatherface, Buffalo Bill, like you said, The Silence of the Lambs, and the character on, this one I found odd. The character on Con Air named Garland Green was based off of Ted Gein. That's weird. And Dr. Oliver Thredson off of American Horror Story.
You done threw poor old Ted again under the bus again.
And it also had some songs in pop culture about the band Tad, not sure who they are. They had a song called Nipple Belt. We'll dig into that a little bit later. Slayer had Dead Skin Mask. Blend Melon had Skinned. Mudvayne has Nothing to Gain. The Ed Gein story is on Netflix. I'm going to check that out. So, with that, we'll start with the early life. Ed Gein was born in 1906 in La Crosse, Wisconsin. From day one, life was stacked against this man.
His dad, George, he was an alcoholic, really not present. His mom, Augusta, was actually a religious tyrant. So she preached hellfire and brimstone, and that all women, except herself, of course, were spawns of Satan, pretty much.
Yeah. So Gein actually only left the farm to go to school. And that was it. Other than that, he stayed most of his time at the farmhouse and doing chores, and he was shy. And classmates and teachers remembered him as having a strange mannerism, such as seemingly random laughter, as if he was laughing at his own personal jokes. He had one brother, Henry, who pushed back, but Ed, he clung to every word that she said.
So then, when Henry died in a mysterious way, it was during a brush fire that he actually died.
Mm-hmm.
And that left Ed with just his mom,
yes,
Augusta,
who at that time, was already shaping him up to what he needed to be, or what he didn't need to be.
And then in 1945, when she passed away, this dude started to really, really unravel.
Yeah, not only that, to go back to Augusta, she would actually punish Gein whenever he tried to make any new friends or anything like that. She would punish him. And he did have poor social skills, obviously. He did fairly well in school, though, particularly in reading. When you watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it doesn't make him look like somebody that would be smart enough to read. So we was talking here, and we're going to go back into the obsession part. So what does Ed do? What did he do after his dad passed away and everything? He boards up the farmhouse, preserves. His mother actually passed away as well. But he boarded up the farmhouse, he preserved her rooms like shrines, and lived in filth in two tiny spaces in the home.
So then he would fill the voids by reading pulp magazines, cannibals, Nazi experiments, headhunters, and his mind just spirals even further.
But he also spent some time being a farmer and a handyman. Some people describe him as just a weird handyman or the odd handyman. So in a quiet place like Plainfield, they just really didn't think anything of it. They were just like, he's just weird. He's harmless. So that's how they really thought about him.
But that illusion ended in November of 1957. Bernice Warden went missing. Her truck seen leaving town, the last receipt, antifreeze. And let's guess who that was sold to. Ed Gein.
But police go to this guy's farmhouse, Ed's farmhouse, and what they find is straight out of a horror movies. There's actually one investigator that actually ended his life because of the stuff that he had seen in there, and he knew he was going to have to testify again and say all that, and he just couldn't do it. He died of a mysterious heart condition, is what they're saying.
Oh, yeah. Skulls turned into bowls, chairs upholstered with human skin, masks made from faces. A real, true-life house of horrors.
It had a whole human bones and fragments of the bones, a wastebasket made of human skin.
Yikes.
Human skin covered several chairs, human skulls mounted on bedposts, female skulls sewn with the top sawed off, bowls made from human skulls, a corset made from a female torso skin from shoulders to waist, leggings made from human leg skin, mask made from the skin of female heads, Mary Hogan's face in a paper bag, Mary Hogan's skull in a box, Bernice Warden's entire head in a burlap sack, Bernice Warden's heart in a plastic bag in the front of Ginn's potbelly stove, 9 vulvas in a shoebox, a belt made from female human nipples, 4 noses, a pair of lips on a window shade drawstring, and a lampshade made of the skin of the human face. Also, fingernails from female victims. Or female fingers, I'm sorry.
Can you literally imagine being so twisted that you could sit and upholster stuff out of humans?
Yeah, he actually admitted that he'd been digging up graves for years and collecting body parts to make what he called a woman suit.
So obviously he's trying to become his mother.
Well, not only that, remember we went back and earlier, we were saying he was punished for having friends. So maybe instead of he wanting to be his mother, maybe he was trying to have a friend, but he also idolized his mother too at the same time. Maybe it was both. Oh, absolutely.
And Ed Gein is one of those that I've always been fascinated by. And I know it's gruesome, and it's not that I'm fascinated like in a good way. I'm just like, how can a human being
be that?
First of all, think about the other things he could be doing with his life if he is handy enough with a knife to skin someone's face out.
Absolutely.
That is insane, dude.
Well, that's the thing. They was suspecting of butchers or somebody, but it was an odd job worker.
Yeah.
So, despite all the remains, this is the chilling part. He was only tied to 2 murders. Mary Hogan in 1954 and Bernice Warden in 1957.
And that's where that's where they get confused. They think he was a prolific serial killer, but most of what police found actually came from him grave robbing.
So when you watch the movies and the folklore and all that, they have him built out like he's some type of huge serial killer, maybe like a Jeffrey Dahmer. But in reality, Jeffrey Dahmer actually used him as an inspiration.
Honestly, when I first heard the story, before I really dug into this myself, I'm thinking, man, this guy's had to have killed hundreds of people.
That's what I thought until I got to reading. Only 2? But it's the desecrating of the graves, the digging up, the human remains, the bones. But still,
the amount of effort he put in. Because, I mean,
insane.
You bury somebody. Now, of course, this is in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
But the casket is in a vault in the ground.
Well, they had to take his head plate off. What's it called?
Headstone
off because people was digging up, desecrating his own grave.
That's insane.
So, I mean, I guess that's what you call karma.
I guess, but
people are weird.
Dude, digging up a grave is crazy work, man.
Yeah, it is. But still, the horror of what he did will remain unforgettable.
So, we're going to go on down the timeline a little bit here. After he was arrested, he was obviously declared mentally unfit for trial. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
So, by 1968, he was found guilty, but legally insane. Obviously. He lived for the rest of his life in state hospitals. And that's the thing, man, that don't really exist in this day and age. Just state hospitals like that. They're kind of few and far between. It's mostly just prisons.
You know, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. So with schizophrenia, correct me if I'm wrong, you hear voices, correct?
You do hear voices. You hear a lot of voices.
He probably heard his mother's voice.
It's constantly degrading him and putting him down. That's a lot of serial killers. They always have an issue with women in their life putting them down. And it's not all of them. It's just some of them.
Some of them their fathers, too.
A couple of the ones that come to my mind is, I can't think of the names at this current time, but that's where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
And there's one that I know, but I can't bring up, obviously.
So, here's another thing, too.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch a horror movie and you see, like, the main character, like, and it plays the voices that are in their head and they're sitting in the corner, like, holding their head and, like, stop. That's probably very close to real life.
Well, I actually had the experience of doing a schizophrenic episode of actually putting on the headphones and hearing all these voices and chattering and whispers and screaming and
Dude,
yelling.
that-
And
bro.
I was trying to fill out paperwork, like Social Security paperwork, but I had somebody else yelling at me, hurry up, fill this out, fill this out. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. And I couldn't imagine somebody living their life like that. I could not imagine somebody living with schizophrenia. That's why we always tag a lot in our videos, mental health awareness. But here's the twist. He only killed 2 people, but his influence shaped horror movies. I mean, look how many he shaped.
Oh yeah, so you have Norman Bates and
Yeah.
Psycho, and of course Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs. It puts the lotion on its skin.
Bloody Valentine,
Yeah.
it wasn't focused on him, but it was kind of similar to how Texas Chainsaw Massacre
It
was,
was,
which
very
is one of my favorite movie chains. I don't know why it is. But yeah, his legacy in pop culture is bigger than his actual body count. So let's think about that. His legacy in movies and novels is bigger than anybody that he actually killed. So his legend, I wouldn't say legend, I don't want to say that to a killer, but the stuff they made him out to be is, yeah, he was horrible, insane, crazy, and what he done was unforgettable. But the stories add on to this mystique and this legend that wasn't really there.
Yeah. Dude, when I think about Ed Gein, it's not the number of the people that he killed. It's the obsession, the isolation, and how grief twisted him into a literal monster. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this dude, granted, he only killed 2 people. I say only. Those people mattered to somebody. I shouldn't have said that. He killed 2 people. They didn't deserve it.
No. Nobody
Probably.
deserves to get murdered.
Just kidding. But the going out, desecrating graves, stealing people's loved ones
Yeah.
out of graves. So imagine when that family comes, because I'm sure he didn't take the time to clean it all back up.
No, just to find out your mom's face is his lampshade.
Yeah, dude.
That's insane.
Dude, it's crazy.
Sometimes the scariest monsters aren't even the ones with the longest list of victims. It's the scar that they put on society and culture as a whole. Let's think about Plainfield, Wisconsin, tiny town, is now known for having this monster living there that everybody knew. Imagine that. You couldn't trust anybody. You wouldn't let nobody come to your house or anything like that.
Dude, honestly, his story proves that horror doesn't just exist in Hollywood. Like, sometimes it's in real life,
It is in real life, 100%. We just don't realize it.
thankfully.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We didn't really do a huge deep dive, but we gave you a little bit of information in there. So that's it for today's deep dive in the basement. Subscribe, drop us a comment, and let us know what case you want next.
Until then, stay curious.
And as always, stay cautious.